Hello, John Bloodworth Gentleman Crafter here with the assembly instructions for your 3D treasure chest cut file set. Just a couple of examples I'm showing you here. Sorry about the lack of toffees, I scoffed them all. Anyway, here's one example that I made up for you, and this just features a little piece of thread as the connector for the hook, which locks the treasure chest shut. And I've decorated it with gems and the decorative panels that come as part of the cut file set. This one, however, I cut the parts separately, so the metalwork and the woodwork separately, and the insert, and coloured the white cardstock with pro markers using alcohol ink there, which I think gives a fantastic rustic look. And then the metalwork was dry brushed with some gold interference paint, just some gold acrylic would work, and then I connected it up with a chain. Moving on to the parts, we've got the two side panels for the lid, and then this is the main part for the lid. And the bottom part, the large section, will have a valley fold. Everything else will be a mountain fold. And you're going to stick the decorative panels where I showed the arrows there. This part is for the insert, and this part is for the base. You've then got all the other bits and pieces, the metalwork as I'm calling it. So you've got two legs. You've got the catch. You've got an extra strip for the back, and then two parts which have sort of upward facing wings which will fit onto the lid. You then have these three parts, and I'll tell you how many you'll get of each. So you'll get 3 of those, 6 of those, and 4 of the ones at the bottom. The 3 of the hooks you're going to stick on top of each other. You're going to team up 3 of each of the handles together and stick them on top of each other. And then the 4 individual little pieces you're going to leave unglued. Working on the base, we're going to glue the tabs of the sides together, as I showed. And then we're going to move on to the insert. We'll work one side at a time for the insert. We're going to put glue on the 2 tabs and then stick those together. Do the same for the other side, and then when you have that done, you're going to apply glue to the very thin upper tabs on the 3 sides, so that's the front and the sides, and then fold them in and stick them down. This just gives a bit of extra rigidity to the top of that insert. Then we're going to bring back the base, and we're going to apply glue to the bottom of the insert, and then about half an inch from the top edge we're going to put a strip, a horizontal strip, and that's going to help secure that in place inside the base of the treasure chest. By the way, I'm going quite quick here as I had to cram 30 minutes of construction into about 10 minutes of video. Anyway, once we've got the insert inside the base, we're going to apply glue to the central section of the legs. Just the upper section, you don't need to glue the bottom part because they'll stand free of the box. And then we'll put that in place on the front. Then we'll apply glue to the side and stick that in place, wrapping it around the edge. Do the same for both sides. We're not going to stick the back legs on just now, so keep those to one side. Then for the latch part, we're going to fold that in on itself and glue that together. That makes that catch much stronger for holding that hook in place. Once that's set, you can apply glue to the central section of this piece and stick it to the front of the box. Then, as you did before, you're going to apply glue to the side flaps and fold them around the sides. At this point, you could probably put the decorative panel on the front if you've cut that. You might get away with putting the sides on, but I'd wait if I were you. Next, we're going to work on the lid. So we've got this flap at the end, the short flap. Keep that in mind. And we're going to apply glue to one tab. And I'm just spreading it out so it's nice and thin. And we're going to glue this to the second section, so not that angular tab at the front, the second section along. Using the V's in between the tabs to help you line it up with the score lines on that lid is a great tip. And I'm going to encourage you to work side by side, so one side then the other, working in pairs of tabs. What we'll do though before we move on to that is fold over that main tab at the front and secure that down. That'll help keep those lid pieces in place while we work on the rest. Now, as I say, you'll work one side at a time and then flip, sticking each tab in place until you have the whole lid constructed. Then you're going to apply glue to the under section of that back tab, slip the lid onto the box, as this helps things get lined up, and then fold that down and press in place. Once it's almost stuck, open the box up and press the top edge of that as well. Now we can get back to putting the decorations on. So we'll apply glue to the legs on that central bit and stick those in place. Again, we're going to stick glue to the side flaps and fold them round. Later on in this video I'll start cutting these bits because they're fairly obvious. Then we're going to get the upper section of the base, so that's the strip that's basically straight with the two flaps on either side. That's going to go just under that score line for the lid hinge. Make it about 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter, just a little bit lower. Not too far, you'll see in a minute what I mean. Then we're going to grab one of the pieces for the lid, that's the back piece that doesn't have the catch on. And we'll pop that on. This is at an angle because of the way the lid is, and you can see there that I'm recommending that much for leaving the distance between the two. That's so the lid can open. As I mentioned, as before, glue those tabs and fold them round. And then for the catch itself, you can actually position that in place. Make sure that main bit is stuck and then open up to give you a bit of extra finger room. And again, you'll apply glue to those side tabs and stick them round. And that's the main chest complete. We do have the extras, so if you want to add the handles, you can do. One of those 4 little rectangles, you'll basically fold up the edges and roll the other piece or the central piece around something thin and long, like a cocktail stick or a mini pokey tool. Apply glue to one of the ends and stick that in place. Again, that pokey tool very helpful here. And again, on the next piece, glue at one end and stick in place. Once they've stuck, grab one of the handle pieces and drop it in place. And then apply a tiny dot of glue just above where the handle is. Open the box so you can get your fingers in there and hold things in place. And then maneuver the top of that handle restraint into position. And do the same for the other side, and then of course you can attach whatever you want to that latch. A bit of thread, a bit of string, doesn't matter, it's up to you. As I said, on this example there are all the decorative panels so you can see where they go. I would put those on afterwards if I were you. Or for the lid, I would put them on before you construct. And then here's the one that I applied the chain to the box. I just poked a hole through the bottom of the latch or the hook and threaded some jump rings through. And there you go. I don't know what you're going to fill it with, but I hope you enjoy making and creating.